I was lying in my bed, sleeping peacefully after a long day, when suddenly I felt the icy grip of someone's hands around my throat. I opened my eyes to see a shadowy figure over me. Its eyes were lit up with a soft blue glow. It began to smile at me. Its mouth was glowing with the same soft blue light as its eyes. It began to lean into me. I felt the cold intention of the being as it drew closer. Those eyes were burrowing into my soul. Once it was only a few inches away from my face, it said,
"I've waited so long for this day. You will soon be mine."
I shot upright in my bed. I was soaked in sweat and my breathing was out of control. My hands, I placed them around my neck where the being's hands had been, and my neck was warm. I looked all around the room for signs of the creature. There was nothing. It must have been a dream, I told myself. It was not the first time I had had a nightmare like that. I was always a really vivid dreamer. Whether it was good or bad, my dreams always felt so real, like I was in another world. Well, I guess that's what dreams are. A plane of existence or some form of reality. Real or just in our heads. Who knows? But that night I returned to bed with no further dreams. The next day was a pretty normal day. I woke up to the sound of my alarm going off right at 7 a.m. I got up, brushed my teeth, got dressed, went to class. I was a sophomore in college, studying business and finance. My dad owned a marketing firm that dealt with mostly business advising. It was always his plan for me to take over the company one day. I didn't really want to, but I didn't have any other plans for life. It seemed like the best idea for me. At least, I would make good money doing it. I was always a pretty aloof kind of guy, just going wherever the wind would take me. I never really had a plan for anything. Hell, I only got into the school because my mom knew the president of the college. When I got back to my dorm that afternoon, I felt off. I was more tired than usual. I had had that night terror, but those normally didn't wipe me out so bad. I went into the bathroom and splashed some water on my face, trying to wake up. After rubbing my eyes for a moment, I looked up in the mirror and I saw it. That creature staring back at me. I closed my eyes and jumped back, and when I opened them, it was gone. I quickly ran around my dorm trying to find signs of the creature, but it vanished. After a few panicked moments of searching my dorm, I began to calm down. That dream must have really messed with my head. I was trying to convince myself I was just seeing things. I sat on the couch and turned on the TV. I started to relax. I put on my favorite background show. You know the one that you watch when you want some noise in the room, but you don't have to pay attention to because it's like the millionth time you've seen it. Yeah, that one. As I sank into the couch, I began to drift off to sleep. I was sound asleep when the familiar cold hands from the night before grabbed my shoulders. My breathing quickened. I wanted to run, but I couldn't. Its vice-like grip wouldn't let me move. I tried to stand up to get away, but it's like my feet were stuck in cement and my legs weighed 1,000 pounds. That's when I heard that same bone-chilling voice over my shoulder.
"Ah, so eager to get away. We've hardly gotten to know each other."
That voice shook me to my core. I wanted so badly to get away, my heart started to race. I had never felt fear like this. Sweat began to drip down my face. I could feel the blood leaving my face as I sank deeper into fear. Those icy hands began to make their way up to my neck once again, but right as they reached, I shot off the couch. Once again, I was dripping in sweat. I glanced around the room. There was nothing there. After a few minutes had passed, my breathing returned to normal and my heart rate had relaxed. That was one hell of a reoccurring dream. I was still in denial. I felt a buzz in my pocket. It was a text from my friend Ben. He asked if I wanted to grab some pizza at the campus dining hall. I replied yes. I would have done anything to get out of my dorm. I grabbed my keys and my wallet and I proceeded out the door. I got to the pizza place first. My dorm was only a couple of minutes away from the dining area on campus. Ben was a little further away, but only a minute or two of being there, he walked up. "Dude, are you okay? You look kind of pale." "I'm fine. I was taking a nap and I had a bad dream. It shook me up a bit, but I'm good now." "Alright, you better not be sick. I have a calc exam in the morning, and if I wake up with a cold, it is your ass." Ben gave me a quick pat on the shoulder and motioned to go inside. We grabbed our pizza and some garlic bread, and I told Ben about my creepy dreams I had been having. "It sounds like you're having some stress dreams. I get those from time to time. Has school been busy?" "No more than usual. School's actually been really easy the last couple of weeks. I've hardly had any tests or homework to worry about." "Well, maybe that's it. The lack of work is putting your brain into overdrive, trying to find something wrong. Like when you feel like you're forgetting something, but you know you haven't." "Yeah, you might be right. At least I hope you are. I just don't want to have another one of those dreams again." I knew Ben was probably right, but I just didn't want to see that figure again. We said bye at the front of the dining hall, and Ben gave me a quick fist bump as he went on his way back to his dorm. I turned back to head to mine when I caught a glimpse of the sun setting. The sky was a beautiful shade of amber red, and there was a subtle hint of blue at the bottom of the skyline. It was beautiful. I had always found nature to be so breathtaking. I lingered for a moment as I watched the sunset on this beautiful day. Once I returned to my dorm, I headed for a quick shower and then straight to bed. I was exhausted. I hadn't slept well the night before, and I would hardly call what happened today a nap. So I went to my medicine cabinet and grabbed some melatonin. That always helped me sleep when I was stressed out, and I figured it would actually help me get through the night. After about a half an hour, my eyelids became very heavy and I drifted off to sleep. I awoke to the sound of my bed creaking. I looked at the foot of my bed and it was there, that shadowy figure once again. I sat up and I said, "What do you want?" My voice was shaken. It was one thing to see it in a dream, but to wake up and see it there sent me into a deep spiral of fear. You're just a dream," I shouted. You can't be real."
"Oh, I am very real. In fact, I know you better than anyone."
It said this in a mocking tone, like it was making fun of me. Those blue eyes stared right back into mine. It began to move up the bed.
"You know, I thought that sunset was beautiful too. A real testament to nature's handiwork."
My eyes widened. I was stunned. How did it know that? I was alone when I watched that sunset.
"You were alone. Well, kind of."
It responded as if it heard my thought. I began to feel cold. The fear gripped me so tightly I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. My throat was welling up from fear and my jaw hung agape as it moved closer. A smirk ran across its face as it said,
"There it is. That's the look I love to see. Fear."
It kept coming forward. Once again, those hands, those shadowy, cold hands, were gripped around my throat.
"You've been so tough to get a hold of. Always running away before the job was done."
Its hands tightened. I was gasping for air, desperately trying to breathe.
"Do you know how long you've kept me locked up? How long I've watched you do nothing? It's an embarrassment. It's my turn now. I get to call the shots. I get to say what happens, and I get to run the show."
It squeezed harder around my neck. I struggled as much as I could, but it wasn't enough. I drew my last breath. My eyes slowly closed shut. The sound of my 7 a.m. alarm went off the next morning. I was so confused. It all felt real. I was sure I died. After racking my brain for a few minutes, I realized that I was moving. I was seeing through my own eyes, but I had no control. How can this be me? How can I be moving? Then it hit me. That thing, that shadowy figure in my dreams, it was me. The side of me that I had repressed for years. The side that wanted success. The side that wanted greatness. And the side that wanted more. That all happened 12 years ago. I've watched this part of me run the show, succeeding in every part of life, doing everything I wanted. Married a beautiful girl, had 2 kids, and is running my dad's business to perfection. I want it back. I want my life back, and I'm going to get it back. What it doesn't know is that I've done it. I've figured out how to manifest in its dreams. And it's time we had a little talk about who's in charge.